What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another TheBigGeee Mordhau build. This time we have the engineer, the hammer smashing, nail biting engineer. Now, if you guys don't know what the engineer is, it's more of a building class slash support class, but can be quite aggressive if you play it right. I'm going to show you guys some ways to kind of set that up and different ways you guys can play the engineer. The engineer can be played multiple ways. If you guys have any tips and tricks, please be sure to comment down below and let me know what you guys think. And if you guys can help out the build in any way, feel free to help anyone out who might read it. Now, thank you guys so much for all the love and support you guys have given me in my past builds, the Archer class and the Kite Shield and Rapier combo. It means a lot to me that you guys found so much positive feedback from that. It got a lot of thumbs up. It really means a lot to me. It's one of my biggest videos yet, just by helping you guys out. So I cannot thank you guys enough for, supporting me, but yet trying out the build and testing it for yourselves. And I hope when you guys did choose a build that a lot of heads were rolling, if you know what I mean. So we're going to get straight into this build, the engineer slash build, and I hope you guys are going to really enjoy it. Please let me know what you think. Anyway, let's move on. First things first, the perks. Now, obviously, if you're playing on a non-team damage server, then you're going to need friendly. You do not want to do a serious amount of damage to your teammates, especially if you decide to use the fireball or use the archers or anything like that. You really kind of want to, deal less damage to your teammates as possible. Otherwise, they're going to seek you out and try to kill you. Yes, own team kills. It's going to happen. The more you piss someone off, they're going to try and come after you, whether on your team or not. So try to keep friendly damage on, friendly perk on, so you guys don't do as much damage. Would recommend, will help out your team a lot. Second thing is, if you are going to use the hammer and you do decide to use the engineer slash build class more along the lines of a supportive class, building stuff, repairing stuff, then definitely the smith class perk is for you. Repair effectiveness increases by 50%. Now that'll help you build 50% faster and repair stuff as well. So, guys, without further ado, that are the two that I use. Now, if you're going to be more aggressive, like I said earlier, playing the class a bit more aggressively and you don't want to use the hammer, you kind of want to defend yourself because, let's be honest, a wooden mallet is not going to help you in against a two-handed sword. It's going to eventually just, disappear because, it's only a small mallet. So, if you're going to use something more along the lines of a dagger or a cleaver or anything like that, then you probably want to go tenacious, so you can also heal back in time if you decide to fight with the engineer class. Because then again, the mallet isn't exactly a good effective way to gain points, only at the start of the match when all your builds haven't been built yet, or your barricades and all that kind of stuff. Once they've been built, it's really hard to really gain points from the mallet, and it kind of gives you at a disadvantage when you go into combat. So you might as well play passively if that's the way you're going to be. But if you're going to be more aggressive, then definitely don't use the smith class or the hammer. Just jump straight into tenacious, and you guys can still build walls and all that kind of stuff with the toolbox. Straight into it. Armor. All light armor for me. I usually do that just so I don't get one shot. I can stay alive a bit longer. I know it's not going to mean too much, but light armor is probably the way to go in my opinion. You guys can choose what you want. Please let me know down below. I'd love to just test out my own builds or test out some of your builds if you guys do that. Please comment down below, and I'm sure people can give you a thumbs up if your build's a-okay. Alright, let's go down. That is the armor. You guys could quickly take a quick gaze and pause it, then we're moving on. Right, first things first, the gear. Right, so we've got toolbox. If you're going to build a class engineer, it's obviously you're going to need the goddamn toolbox. It's not going to work without it. You can't build shit without it. You're going to need the toolbox. Second thing is, I go fireball, mainly so if I'm in a corridor or something and I need to get away, I can just pop a firebomb and get the hell out of there. It's completely up to you what you guys can do. You can put bear traps. You guys can do whatever you want. This class can be so tweaked in so many different ways. It really depends on the map, and it kind of depends on how you play. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to show you guys, it's a couple of things that you guys can do if you guys wish to do that. Obviously the wooden mallet, but I did say earlier, you guys can change from the wooden mallet to short sword, dagger, cleaver. You can go smoke bomb, or you can just hard out, sit in the back line, place them through the fire and flames, and just kick back and watch your team mates' blood spill all over the battlefield. Now that is completely up to you how you do that. You can go bandage, you can do whatever you want. This is your build now. I'm just going to show you guys some of the basics as an engineer class, and you guys can tweak it from there. That is when I go, if I'm going to be more aggressive, I'll swap that over for the short sword, and I can even change that to a bear trap. If I'm going to be more passive, then I can go the wooden mallet, or I change the wooden mallet more into, a training sword, or change the firebomb to more of a bear trap. If I'm in a short little space to stop them from coming in to getting me. It's completely up to you. Body and stuff, I'm not going to go too much into that, guys, but I'm going to show you guys now. That's pretty much, there's nothing really to it. It's really how you decide to tweak it yourself. It's not really like a crazy, one way is the only way build. The engineer is quite vast, and you can customize it to however the hell you like. Anyway, guys, I'm going to show you some of the gameplay that you guys can do, and just some of the stuff that you can do as well. I'm going to show you some of the things you can do if you would like to troll people as well. There's definitely ways that you can troll people. I'm not going to recommend trolling people, but if that's what you guys really want to do with the engineer class or the build class, then sure, go ahead and do it. I'm going to show you guys some game footage. Let's move on. So here we are, the engineer class slash the build class, the blockade, the repairer, whatever you want to call it. So as you guys can see here, I'm preparing myself to be put on the ballista turret and securing myself in safely so I don't get countered from behind. So I start putting up my walls. If you guys don't know how to do this, all you got to do is simply pull out your toolbox, place down the walls. If you want to rotate between walls and spikes and a turret, all you have to do is press R. But keep in mind, guys, to be able to use the turret, you must have 6 out of 6 ammo. When you first spawn into the battlefield, you only have 5 out of 6. So you got to make sure you go to a resupply to be able to put down a turret in general. So I've now thrown down my firebomb to block the incoming opponent, and he wasn't able to get to me. Now I've also fortified myself in this position and able to fire down on the enemy. Now these are really cool things you could do, and that way they only can come in one direction, and you're able to get more of a direct route and where you want to go with your turret, and you secure it all around you. The only disadvantage with a firebomb is that you can kill your own teammates. That is a real disadvantage with a firebomb, but if you can nail a good firebomb, you can kill a fair few opponents. Now in this instance, I'm going to drop down my turret, 6 out of 6 ammo. You notice there, it'll go down to 0 out of 6. What this actually means is, you now run out of ammo and you can't put up any more walls. So in order to fortify yourself, you have to go back, grab some more ammo. So now I'm back to 6 out of 6, and I can actually chuck down another 6 barricades. Now, you can only chuck down 6 at a time. Once you resupply, you can't chuck down 12 or 18. Once you start chucking down more than 6, it'll go back to the last one you did, or the very first one you did, and it'll actually remove it and replace it with that one. So keep in mind, you can only have down 6 barricades at one time. And you can only have down 1 turret at one time. Once you put down a second turret, it'll disappear from the first one, and so forth, so forth. As now you guys can see, I thought I was fortified, but someone had some throwables, and they can't jump in, but they can start throwing stuff in. But you can see now that the enemy is on me, and are starting to try to break their way into my fortified position. If I had some bear traps and all that kind of stuff, they'd be in a lot of trouble. But I got myself cornered, and I eventually died. That is the fun thing about the engineer. It's a whole bunch of different ways to play it, but it's pretty cool. Now, the repairing. Not often do you get to do this, mainly at the start of the match, but once it's done, and you can move on to more advanced stuff, or more passive stuff, or more aggressive things that once it's been repaired. So as you guys can see here, I've just dropped down my turret, and noticed that someone on my team has taken it while I was going to go resupply. So I decided to toy with him a little bit, and try to get him to jump off, but instead he starts shooting me, and tries to kill me. So I decided to throw my firebomb on him, destroy the turret, and deal him a little bit of damage. Now, I don't understand why you actually get vehicle damage for destroying your own turret. I don't know that, but I mean, it's kind of like an exploit. Like I said, the hammer isn't going to do much, and me and my opponent start to get in a bit of a domestic. Now, I made sure this time my turret didn't get taken by someone else, so I waited in order to grab the goddamn turret. One thing that turrets are really good for is horses. They do a serious amount of damage towards horses, and as you guys can see here, I'm just demounting a lot of the enemy players on horses. Boom! And allowing myself, you know, a couple more extra points. Now again, once again, I put down my turret, go to get myself a resupply, and on my way to get a resupply, I got taken out by a horse. So I decided to load back in. But loading back into my death scene, I noticed that the enemy, one of my teammates, sorry, has taken my turret. Again! So I decided this time I'm going to really troll with him, and he can't get away this time. So I decided to spawn back in closest, go over to him, and start surrounding him with barricades so he can't leave. Now, if you're one of these players that steals the goddamn engineer's turret because, well, you just feel like you want to be playing Archer instead, then you should go and play the engineer yourself. I personally don't like it when people steal my turret after trying to get myself nice and fortified and in a good position, so I decided to now throw a firebomb just to really do him some damage and make him get off my turret. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and goddamn subscribe. I appreciate it, and it does mean a lot to me. All the best, guys. Much love to you all. Big G out.